gentlemen, welcome to a new edition of Eclecticka. I am Seven. We have Drew. We have who we have? Rogue Harley. We have Charles and our special guest, Cece, the Greek Geek. Did I say that right? It's so long. Why so long? Why can't you just be Cece?
I could just be CC. I could just be CC. That's a lot of CCs though.
That's a good comment. I think it's like it kind of ties in now. CC, the Greek geek, because you have that little bit of wordplay, kind of just rolls off the tongue. So yeah,
it works. Yeah.
Thank you.
So what we got going on today, Drew?
Besides me trying to get my voice back from screaming too much last night, we have quite a bit. Just trying to pick a place where to begin. Oh yeah, Doctor Freaking Strange came out this past
huge.
weekend.
Yeah.
It was I saw it. It was awesome. I had a whole lot of fun. I think it not across the board, but I would say most people walking in expected this to be dope, and it delivered. I say when it came to particularly the visuals that they used in this. Totally blown away by it. Really impressive. They stayed true to the comics. You see a lot of the influences of MC Escher, Steve Ditko, the guy that basically put Doctor Strange on the map. You had all the Easter eggs in it. You had the solid performances from Cumberbatch, from Chiwetel Ejiofor, who's my boy Mordo. I'm mad at him because of what he does at the end of the movie, but I'll jump on that later. The characters, as there was like a degree of like lightheartedness with it right when it needed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And then but it didn't shy away from the fact that it was doing some pretty dark stuff when it comes to like magic and what you can do with it and how you can potentially mess things up. So overall, I thought it was great. Those, I guess we can go down the list and see who watched it versus who didn't. Those who didn't, shame on you in advance, but go ahead. Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, Charles, let's go.
It was, and things came up, stuff happened, things and whatnot, tried.
I thought it worked. Great cast. I think I had to warm up to the Ancient One a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, I think we had discussed that before it even came out.
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing, but actually, Drew, you and I, we've had this discussion before about certain things being in comics don't always transfer so well into the movie. And when I heard that the cape was going to be like alive, I was like, nah, it's not going to work. But I think when I actually saw it on film, I think it worked. It gave it character, and I believe it definitely worked.
I agree. It was one of those
commercials. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
But I saw from the commercials. Yeah, it seemed like it was going to be just like this cute little kind of sidekick type of thing.
I didn't think that they were going to do it. I thought they were going to just bypass the whole sentient cape, cloak of levitation thing altogether. But yeah, I agree, Charles. It was one of the things I felt gave it that kind of lighter edge where it didn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
But it didn't shy away from the fact that they were dealing with some potentially dangerous stuff when it comes to channeling energy from the multiverse and the different facets that lie within that. I did think it was rad how they gave the explanation of magic. Like, one of my biggest gripes with Harry Potter or magic in the genre in general is how a lot of times it's just portrayed as just waving your wand the right way and saying the right word, and then you can insta-kill anyone, ever. So it's like, I'm glad that they stopped and they actually gave you a definition of magic, and then they expanded upon that. And then they showed you the training process, the physicality versus the mentality, and the spirituality to become like an effective magic user. So I thought that was really dope.
Yeah, definitely one of the better films. Again, it wasn't one of the major Batman, Superman, Spider-Man type of things. It was something that came out of left, and it really delivered.
Totally. And Charles, I'm not sure, I might just be me reaching. They kind of made like a nod to the old Ancient One from the comics, and they played with the idea of what we expected with an ancient Chinese Asian wise man stereotype.
Right.
This is what they did with Tilda Swinton's character, who I love, by the way. I really dug her as the Ancient One in this one. And when Steven comes in and he sees, what was it? It was Hazir. He's sitting there chilling, reading his book, drinking his tea and stuff like that, and he assumes that it's him. And then he gets up and walks out, and then it's this like bald Celtic chick. And it's just like, that's not quite what I expected. And then it's like, that's the point. Forget everything that you think that you know. So I thought that was kind of clever how they worked that into the film. But before we get any further, so Cece, I'm gonna just go with that one. It's easy. Cece, our Greek geek. Who are you? What are you doing here? Tell us what
Oh, God.
tell us what you're about.
Loaded
Getting all
question. No, I'm
personal,
kidding.
yeah.
I go from 0 to 100, as I'm told.
So me personally, okay, Cece the Greek geek, and I have someone ask me this question before. I am not Greek from an ethnic standpoint. I don't have Greek heritage. Actually, if anything, it's Celtic, going back to earlier. But the Greek actually implies my membership in Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and I found it to be a very unique niche of having geeks who also identify as Greek, and this kind of like you're caught between two lifestyles a little bit. So yeah, it's essentially what I'm here for, and I'm here to help enforce positive representation, especially among people of color, women, and other underrepresented populations. And that is what BlerDCon is all about, which you saw Seven generously holding up earlier.
Awesome. So how does that tie into like comics, sci-fi, the stuff that we talk about that we mess with, basically?
In terms of my personal work or BlerDCon or both?
Either. Take your pick.
Okay. Well, for me personally, I've always identified as a nerd all my life. Like, I don't remember life before it. I was labeled it before I even owned it, more or less. So, I think that there's a lot of pressure to unnerd yourself, especially as you matriculate in Greek life, and particularly if you're a person of color, there's this stigma of being a nerd, and that you're trying to be something you're not, right? Mm-hmm. Or interestingly enough, I got backlash from some of the geek community because of my membership in Delta. They were trying to say that, oh, you're not a real nerd. You're just trying to capitalize on this trend because, you see a trend on
you're a pretty lady and stuff like that. What are you doing being a nerd? How dare you?
Right.
How dare you?
How dare you?
You are too pretty.
Exactly.
Shouldn't you be shopping or something?
Exactly. And that's so offensive. Like, that's not only offensive to me and my intelligence, but it's offensive to nerds. Like,
right.
Just because we're not walking around with 30 books at a time with
like I could put on my glasses, but I'm sorry.
Doesn't mean
but I got contacts this week. My bad.
Right.
Exactly.
Data knows my life. She knows.
I do. I know the struggle. It's real.
I think I'm on the other end of that spectrum. I agree. I think I'm on somewhere in the middle because I have very much what's considered nerdish tendencies, and I'm not exactly like a GQ model or anything like that. So I think I fall more into the stereotypical spectrum of the the nerd, however it's perceived. Yeah. But
that's part of being a blerd in America, right? It's like you have to have that switch where you have the street or whatever colloquium, depending on where you're from, like Philly, New York, DC, or and then you have your geek side that you have your certain, you have your friends who you can geek out with, and you have your friends who you street out with, or you have friends who do both if you're lucky. So it's kind of, and I think that that's also what BlerDCon is trying to encompass, is going against this narrative that because you're a minority, that you don't fall under the realm of what a nerd is or what a nerd is supposed to be. So that's kind of like what we're trying to dispel.
Cool. Thank
you.
That's good stuff.
So where can we find more of BlerDCon and you guys and your your Greek pantheon? No, it doesn't work.
Sure.
I'll let it go. That was no good.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. We are on BlerDCon, and I are on Facebook. You can go to facebook.com/BlerDCon. That's BLERDCON DC. Or you can also follow us on Instagram at BlerDCon or on Twitter at BlerDCon DC.
Sweet.
And as for myself, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at CC the Greek Geek, and I'm on Facebook.com/CC the Greek Geek as well.
So
awesome.
I had to ask this just because you say you're a Wonder Woman fan, right?
I am a Wonder Woman fan. Yeah.
What do you think about? And we brought this up and other shows too. But what do you think about, the black version of Wonder Woman? Like, when people take a, a well-known Caucasian character or a well-known black character and then change them. Do you feel any
Now,
kind of way?
are
Do you
you
think that's
referring?
cool?
Okay. Now, are you referring to
Artwork,
the?
not cosplaying, artwork.
Oh, okay. Well, particularly for Wonder Woman, I don't think that there's really a. I think what a lot of people don't know is that there is a Black Wonder Woman. That's the first thing. And that Diane has a twin sister named Nubia, who is the Wonder Woman of the Floating Islands. So, in essence, there is a Black Wonder Woman, and she's the older of the two sisters. Not by much, but she's a little older. So, but in terms of people reimagining characters in general as people of color, I actually think that that's kind of a beautiful thing, because it transcends the narrative of who a hero is and what a hero is supposed to look like. And I think especially with, I can't remember his name, the guy who stars in Tarzan.
Which
Eric
version?
Northman.
The old one or the new one that just came out, or anything in
The
between?
new one, but he doesn't play Tarzan. He plays like a chief or something like that. But he was talking about how his son wished he was light skinned so he could be like Spider-Man, and that really hit him hard.
Yeah.
So representation does matter, and I'm a sociologist by nature, or social historian more so. But children are heavily influenced by the media and by their peers, arguably more so than their parents. So that stuff is really important, and I applaud and praise artists who do that. And I mean, I can kind of get what people are going at when they're like, oh, you're taking away my character or whatever. But it's like, if you are focusing so much on the character's race, then, what does that really say?
Yeah, my thing about that is, if that's what your hang up is about the character, then one, you don't really like the character all that much at all.
True.
If that's as far as your obsession or your connection to that character goes. And like, I think from our perspective of that, part of like social media and stuff like that, if you're on Tumblr, you're on Instagram, you see people's art everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's we're in a funny time because we're seeing a lot more of the gender bends. We're seeing the palette swaps and the race changes of stuff when it comes to art in particular fandoms. Yeah. And I think it's kind of cool. It just gives people like a wider avenue when it comes to create things, and it makes people, I guess, more cognizant or more aware that diversity is important when it comes to these mediums. It sounds silly, like it's something simple as like changing Peter Parker from Peter Parker to Miles Morales. Charles, you're a Spider-Man guy. Like,
this is my take on it. Me personally, I want Peter Parker to stay Peter Parker. But I love what you said about Wonder Woman. She has a sister. Why don't you have the sister come out and have a movie? Push her to the forefront. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
like we have great characters of color who are already there.
Yeah,
you don't know about pushed enough. It's not fair to them. Although I do like the concept of having a black Spider-Man versus a white Spider-Man, and one of the cosplayers I know who does Peter Parker often would get mistaken as they're like, "Oh, you're Miles Morales. You're Miles Morales." Like, no, just I'm black doesn't mean that I'm trying to cosplay as Miles Morales.
You can do whichever. It gives you the option, though, which is what I dig. And it's like this past Halloween, I call it Harley-ween because there were so many Harley Quinns that were running about. But the cool thing about it was this. I was sick of seeing Harley Quinn a week before Halloween. But when it came up and I was like walking around doing my thing, there were so many different types. There were skinny girls, there were big girls, there were black girls.
I purposely did not do Harley Quinn for that exact reason, because I knew it was going to be everywhere.
Thank you, Harley. I much appreciate that. So, but ultimately,
go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Just ultimately boiling all that down to, I'm open to the idea of that, because in the end, it gives us the option of different takes on characters, but also, the most important thing to me is it gives us a window to create new characters.
Exactly.
Instead of making Iron Man just a black girl, just make a new character.
Make a new. If she's such a genius, let her make her own suit and get it.
Yeah. So
yeah, it drives me nuts when they do that.
and using that as like a springboard. Also, there's a bit of like news when it comes to another character who's been switched over to become black. Idris Elba is going to be playing Roland Deschain in the upcoming Dark Tower movie. It's going to be him, Matthew McConaughey. They did have like a big list of other actors that were going to be in it too. Not all of them. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know who all of them were.
Right. And a lot of it is filling a void of diversity that should have already been there to begin with.
Been there, exactly.
And changing like Mary Jane to a black girl is totally different from changing Luke Cage's race, where his character is very much defined by his race.
Yeah.
So
that would have been problematic. But it's like on the whole Dark Tower front, randomly, it was going to come out, I think it was like February 17th. It's coming up fairly soon, or like next year. It's been delayed, so now we're not going to get it until the summer. So it's going to be July 28th of 2017. I don't know why they did this. I think they might have had just like a snag. Someone might have been like slipping when it came to their whatever they were supposed to be doing on set. I don't know. It could have been anything. But this is one movie that I am actually particularly hyped in just because it has such a diehard fan base. And like you were saying, Cece, it's like seeing that, I guess, shift. Because the character Roland in the novels is a white guy. Right. And when it was announced that Idris Elba was going to be playing him, I didn't find nearly as much of the, I guess, knee-jerk ire that you often see fanboys do when it comes to finding out a character's not going to be blonde hair and blue-eyed anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm really hyped about that one. I'm not even bummed on the delay because I feel that could ultimately just make it like a better film. It gives them more time to create it.
Yes.
So,
how can you hate on Idris Elba? I mean, something's wrong with you if you do.
Here we go. Yeah, see, I already saw Harley. You just
let me say something on that really fast.
I can't see. I don't have glasses on.
When you do that, and I think one of the best examples of that like character switch, Nick Fury. I think
that
you know, it totally. If you remember, David Hasselhoff played first Nick Fury, man. Bloody awful, man. What I'm saying is, it worked. What I'm saying, he added so much to the role. So in certain cases, it definitely works if you get the right person to cast.
So, and now that you mentioned character switch, one character switch that I'm actually not happy about, guys. I'm really not going to try to go out because we have a guest and I'm going to try to behave. But, but on Arrow, they just announced that they're going to have Talia al Ghul as a character on the show. Why do this? Why introduce us to Nyssa? I get why they introduced us to Nyssa, but I'm just being difficult. Nyssa got introduced first in the series. Those of us that watch Arrow know this, right? Yeah. She was a great character as far as I'm concerned, to the point where I'm like, you know what? We don't even need Talia at this point.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't, because Batman's not there. You do.
But that's why you need her there.
Why?
Because you need
chick. No. I'm sorry, Harley. The chick that basically is tailor-made for Batman. The only female in like the entire rogues gallery that he has that I feel is acceptable as far as a mate goes for Batman. She belongs over there. She doesn't need to be Brendan from Arrows talking to Oliver on the show.
She needs to. Well, because of the way that they went and they made Arrow and stuff, they have to have something that's going to connect the whole Al Ghul storyline from Arrow to Batman. Unfortunately, that has to be Talia, because why the heck would Batman waltz all over there for Nyssa for no reason? He doesn't care about her. It's Talia.
And my thing is this. I'll even let that go that far. But my question to that is simple. What is Talia going to do? After you already had these really excellent arcs that involve Nyssa coming in, being a straight-up killer, falling for freaking White Canary, her dying, and then her coming back, and then essentially even bonding with the other members of Team Arrow. Now we're going to add Talia, who really has nothing to do, because Batman's not there.
That's the point, though. Like, the fact that she bonded with the team, nobody wants bonding. We want conflict. That's a storyline. That's why. We want the drama, you know?
You want the drama, but at the same time...
And it's like, if she plays it right, if she says like, "Oh, I don't like you, and you're getting on my nerves, and you killed my father, and blah 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 blah," and then, "Oh, oops, did I mention the reason I'm all the way over here is because I ran away because I'm pregnant?" Oh, why would you be pregnant? Oh my God, there's all this drama, and then Batman.
Okay, no, yeah. Thank you for jumping on that, because you want to know as awesome as that idea for the show would be. It's not going to happen because they've already taken and sectioned off so many parts of Batman's lore and tried to spackle it into Arrow that all of it basically is Bruce Wayne now. He's Bruce Wayne if Bruce Wayne had an arrow fetish instead of like a bat fetish. That's what that is. And I'm telling you right now, for the record, I said this tonight, November 6, 2016. If Talia al Ghul comes on that show, right, and she refers at any point to Oliver as detective, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna be like, this isn't Green Arrow. This is the Batman show. It's low key Batman.
I'll be with you on that. If she does say that he's a detective on any note, then I'm.
She better not be trying to get to his slacks. She better not try to have sex with him. And if she does get pregnant, they're gonna try to go the Damian Wayne route. Thank you for holding that up, Seven. That's just the segue that I needed. In the comics, Talia al Ghul has a son, Damian Wayne, the biological son of Bruce Wayne. Probably my favorite Robin ever, the little psychopath that he is. Okay, if they try to steal that from me in the comics, if they try to take that element of the lore away from me, I'm telling you right now, I will lose my collective ish. No, I will ditch the show if that happens. I will abandon ship.
I'll jump shit with you, man.
Thank you, Charles. At least somebody has my back. Jeez.
I'll jump ship if they go that far. I'll jump ship if they go that far. That's messed up. You can't do that.
Oh, man. But I am catching up.
You guys okay?
I was I'm kind of like in the zone right now for that because I was watching the shows before the.
And Cece's like, what did I walk myself into today?
I love it. No, I love it. It's like Thanksgiving came early.
Aww.
So mine is like they're not really into the comics and stuff. I mean, my cousins, but that's neither here nor there.
I told people to go see Doctor Strange, and I get a call today. That was the worst film. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me?
Who said that? Why are they in your phone? That was bad, dude.
Yeah, so if you guys are watching, I'm not refunding your ticket either.
Get out of here. That was dope. Did you guys catch the little nod that they made to Brother Voodoo, too?
To who?
Oh, in the movie, the guy that Casalius kills, the one blood that's in the, I think it was that was Daniel Voodoo, and he's the brother of Jericho Drum.
Wow.
Yeah. That was rad. I like that little nod.
Catch everything.
What was that you were holding up a second ago, Seven? I didn't see it. Sorry. That is, Steppenwolf. So that jumps over back into the DC camp. I can't recall what the guy's name is. Cillian something or other. But he's been cast to play Steppenwolf. I know him from that show, Rome. You guys remember that HBO television show? Yeah. A really awesome one.
It was
back. He was Julius Caesar. He's a dope actor. He was in that other terrible Ghost Rider movie too, but I forgive him for that one.
He wanted to get paid.
He's going to be our Steppenwolf, who apparently is going to be the main villain in the Justice League movie. So I don't know how. Yeah.
Lost Cece.
We lost Cece.
Yeah, we can get her back in a second. But did you guys see that bit of news? Well, actually, I have a question for you, both of you, our whole collective group. We can try to get CC back too at the same time. So Steppenwolf, he's a character that's linked to like Apocalypse and the New Gods and all that stuff. How would you guys think using that character as like a gateway if they went and did a movie of Mr. Miracle, of Barda, of their whole like New Gods pantheon? What would you guys think about that?
I think it'd be pretty cool. I'm a fan. Yeah, I love Apocalypse. I think it'd be pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought in my head that a better idea for introducing Darkseid into the DC cinematic universe would be to have a movie about Mr. Miracle, right? He goes through the whole indoctrination process on Apocalypse, because you know how messed up it is on that planet.
Yeah.
Basically, like, brainwash. It's a complete, like, society of just fascist, super teched out, like, monsters, basically.
That's
They
it.
brainwash these kids from youth, train them to be child soldiers, and then they're basically just, like, a tool, right? Mr. Miracle was that one guy that sat up there and was like, no, I'm not going to do this. He rebelled. And Barter was like, yeah, you're right. We need to get the heck out of here. and then they became like a thing, and they freed themselves essentially. So I always thought that would be such a dope idea for them. They escape Apocalypse, they end up landing on Earth, and they know that Darkseid's on his way to Earth, and they're trying to warn the Justice League of what the hell's going on. But that would have been how I went about it.
Heck yeah. I always said if they want to do a killer Superman movie without that whole origin thing, put him up against Darkseid. I'm a fan of Darkseid.
Yeah.
I might actually pay attention.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not a big Superman person. I have
Neither am I. Well, I respect Superman, but I'm not a big fan of it.
They haven't done a Superman film right yet. They haven't done one since the original one right yet.
I
That's
disagree
true.
with that, but I totally disagree. But go ahead.
I don't like Superman in general, just as a character, but I have my own.
You was about to say as a person. I don't like him as a person.
I like him as a person. He's really mean, and I just don't care for him. So
Now, this is going to sound so bad, Drew. You probably ripped my head off, but I think honestly, to bring Superman back, he almost has to be a co-star in a movie, not star in a whole movie, because they filed up the franchise. I didn't like the last one at all. I didn't.
the last time I liked him is.
But I don't know. Man of Steel, I thought was a good movie, but we've gone over that before. It's just like he was too. I don't know. He brooded a lot for no reason whatsoever. He didn't have to do a lot of.
I'm an alien. I'm all by myself. Lois doesn't like me. Lois might like me. What do? Do I save them? Do I not save them? Do I use my powers? Go away.
Wow, you just did the whole movie
Yeah,
from the perspective of Superman.
Keep it 100. True.
Wow, that's crazy.
I don't know. I think the idea of Superman is fine. There are good moments that I've seen of him between the comics and the films and the animated shows and all that good stuff.
I liked him was on Supergirl. The little bit.
I haven't watched him on Supergirl, so
the little bit that they introduced him on Supergirl, I was like, oh, I don't hate him entirely. Like, that's nice. You're just like kind of doing your little cameo, and then you're going away. That's it.
All right. Well, we gotta end it here. Again, this is live, and so shout out to Cece, the Greek
We lost her in cyberspace, man.
She's in cyberspace. Thank you so much, Miss Rogue Harley. And thank you very much, Charles.
Always a pleasure.
And Drew.
World's earliest nerd right here. Thank you.
I am Seven. Thank you for watching Eclecticka. We are live and we are on cable. So, go to sevnetwork.com. You get all the information. And yeah, that'll be it. So have a good one. We'll see you next week.